All right, so here we are with Hearth and Fire. This is a kind of a Celtic blessing kind of tune. And I know that Nanaimo Sings did this a number of years ago as part of the festival, and it was lovely when we did it together. And so here we are revisiting the same score. So I think what we should start with probably is just getting our heads around the key, because this is a kind of a laid back and low key sort of a tune, and it's fairly easy to sing it too lazily, let's just say. So what is C major, please, Nico? So you want to be do, re, mi, fa. Make sure that our F, the opening, Hearth and Fire, needs to be up high enough so that it's not low. And then be very careful when you're descending to the D. So do, re, mi, fa, mi, re. Make sure that that's got a nice point on it as well. So those two things in the very first 4 beats that you sing are already little sort of trials to have to deal with. So mi, mi, fa, mi, re, re, da, da, da. As opposed to mi, da, da, like sort of, weak. You don't want that. And then da, da, pa. You can't relax down on the D. All right, so that supertonic in this key needs to be reasonably high. So do, re, mi, fa, sol. So we want to get right up to the G. Anytime you have it in this key, fairly bright when you get to the G as well. Okay, so that's a couple of things to look for, and then we'll go through the song and we'll just talk about some of those intonation issues as they occur melodically. Let's just scan the score quickly. Verse at bar 5, sopranos and altos, unison and then divisi. Tenors, you join in for the refrain. I'll be the sun upon your head, the wind about your face, and so on. So right here at bar 15, I just want to point out that little 16th note figure, the little pickup there. So the way to do that securely, I think, is you're thinking, on your head, the wind. Head, the wind. So make sure there's a clear D on the downbeat right before that so that you can make a very precise 16th note pickup. That tends to be a problematic moment. And then at bar 19, sopranos, altos, and upon your want. Same issue with the fa and the re, the F and the D, right? To be carefully in tune there. All right, so basses, you finally get to join us on the melody. So sopranos and basses are singing the tune together at 22 with inner harmony, the tenors at the unison with the altos, and then it sort of splits out eventually into 4 parts, okay? Moving through that, there's nothing especially treacherous other than the rhythm, which we can come back to in a second. Bar 30 is a full-on 4-part chorus of the refrain, which is quite a lovely sentiment, by the way. This is, I'll be the sun upon your head, the wind about your face, my love upon the path you tread, and upon your wanderings peace. I want to just start right off by making an important notice here. This is at bar, what is this, 35, 6, bar 37. Notice there's a non-diminuendo here. So this verse, non-diminuendo, is leading us into a substantial forte sort of passage that's coming up. And it moved to the relative minor as well. So you want to make sure that that's different. That's a new harmonization of the tune, all right? And then it turns over from the sopranos having the tune to the basses and tenors at the top of page 5 at bar 43. Basses and tenors, you are the melody there. And so again, sopranos and altos, when you get to the end of this phrase, right there on that word fair, find you well and fair. So do, re, a big step up to that, so that that's a very beautiful, clean, open fifth when you get there. At 47, the a cappella section, of course, will be accompanied in this round, although who knows, if you sing it flawlessly, maybe it will be a cappella ultimately. We'll see. Turn the page. Oh, my favorite lyric in this song, and upon your wanderings peace. This is a treacherous moment for us in terms of the choir and of the ensemble. There will be a tendency for some of us to want to take a breath before the last word peace because it's a very long note. So some of you are going to be inclined to want to sing upon your wanderings peace so that you can actually sneak a breath in there. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that. So what I want you to do instead is I want you to imagine that the last word in the song is spice. Upon your wandering spice, if you have to take a breath. I know that there are many gifted singers going to be singing this, however, and so most of you are going to be upon your wandering spice, and you'll actually make that legato connection into it. So you have two options. Sing it correctly with a carry, upon your wandering spice, to get into it, or upon your wandering spice if you have to take a breath, all right? That way the S will be elided to the beginning of the word piece, and even if you do breathe, you're not going to screw up the recording or the performance by having put your consonant on too soon. So remember, Hearth and Fire, spice. Practice that next time you pull up to a traffic light. Hearth and Fire, spice. Hearth and Fire, spice. So that you always have that as the ending. All right, and then through the instrumental interlude, of course, if we were on stage, we'd want to be very still and pay close attention to our accompanist all the way through that passage, and then pick it up for the closing refrain at 64, which is basically just a little coda. All right, tenors, the most important note that you have in this piece is the D that happens to you in bar, say, bar 70. Where's our C major again? Thank you. So I'm not a tenor, but I will find it for you. And upon your wall. Right there, that D. That has got to be beautifully placed high. Can you play that D minor 7 chord there, please? Exactly. That is the tune. That is the melody. And upon your wall. Right? Same thing, except it's in your octave. That happens to you as well, tenors, in bar 53. On your wandering spice. Again, that supertonic D, stratospherically high in your heart. Find a nice place for that so that you can do that. All right. At the very end, on the pause, I'm just going to ask Nico to just play this so that we can just go through and talk about what's happening. Let's listen to the piano score in the last two measures. Please, Nico. 3 and... So, when he gets to his last chord, I'm counting in my head, I'm counting 3 beats. So I'm going to ask him to play it again, and I will count that last note for you so that in your recordings, you'll have a destination when you actually get here. So the count starts on when the piano plays on beat 3. That's when I'm starting to think in my mind, 1, 2, 3, S. Okay, let's try it. So these last 2 bars, this is the piano score, and 1, 2, 3, off. Okay, so now let's just sing that, okay? Spice, I'll sing the bass note, ready, and spice, 2, 3, off. I'll do that again. Spice. Did you all count 3? You better, because that's how that piece ends. Okay. Let's just go back and talk about some of the rhythmic sorts of things that are happening. Again, this is a big long carry. There are no group breaths except where there are rests. So all of the final consonants just fall on the following beat, generally speaking. So, and all the dark outside, right on beat 4 as written, okay? So fair the night and kind on you, wherever you may bide. And again, I need you to make these very, very legato connections. So even though they're off the beat, I need them to be quite legato when you actually get there. So that you're thinking, what's a B? So, kind on you, wherever you may bide. Notice I could sing that quite legato. I could also be really bad. Kind on you, wherever you may bide. That would be totally out of the character of what this song is, so we don't want to have that happen. There's a really important moment when the upper and lower voices all come together on that very same rhythm. So let's all turn to page 3 for a second. And you'll all find yourselves doing this. This is the second system on page 3. You just finished singing one. Peace and warmth be yours tonight, wherever you may bide, and so on and so forth. Everybody together. The last note of the phrase, supertonic, so once again, high, okay? Where's our C major? Thank you. So, yours tonight, wherever you may bide. That's ready high there. Okay, so that D actually works its way through. And what else is missing here? Okay, we've talked about the little 16th notes. We talked about the consonants. All right, so here we go. Let's just do a kind of a little run through of this. I will sing along on the tune. Hopefully I'll get the words right, and we won't have to do it like 3 times. So where's our 96?
96 is here.
It's rocking. It's perfect. 3 and... So you should start to breathe. Hearth and fire be yours tonight, and all the dark outside. Fair the night and kind on you, wherever you may bide. And I'll be the sun upon your head, the wind about your face, my love upon the path you tread, and upon your wanderings peace. Longer than that, I don't have enough breath to sustain. Good, thank you. Good. Okay, so another thing that you need to listen for, because each one of these phrases starts on beat 2, I want you to make a specific point of hearing the downbeat in the piano. And Nico and I have been working on this to make sure that these downbeats in the beginnings of the verse are clear. So let's just do one more time at the bottom of page 2, please, Nico.
Okay. 18.
Path you tread, and upon your wanderings peace. Wine and song be ours tonight, and so on and so forth. So again, he's making a concerted effort. Make sure that you feel that downbeat so that you all come in squarely on beat 2. Let's do that one more time. This is page 4. Let's just pick it up right at bar 35. Path you tread. Are you ready? 3 and path you tread, and upon your wanderings peace. Earth and fire be yours tonight, when the birch is bare, and that the wind we hear tonight would find you well and fair, and so on and so on. All right, so I breathed deliberately in a place where I wanted to make sure that, what did I do? I carried where I wanted to carry, and I breathed elsewhere. Didn't quite make it through, so. Would that the wind we hear tonight would find you well. That is a very important carry for you guys, after the word tonight. Here tonight would find you well and fair. And then you can back off to shape the end of that phrase. And then you're back to the sort of piano dynamic. My love upon the path you tread, and upon your wanderings peace. Nice. That worked. I know you'll find a way to breathe that is more graceful than what I just did. All right. I think that gives us enough information to actually get through this and start to do a track. We're going to lay this down. Okay? Linda, have I missed anything in your mind that you were expecting me to say?
No, not at all. It's great.
Good.
Great.
How's our 96? Nice.
Yeah, a little slower, but not.
No, it's okay. It can be slower. It just cannot be any faster.
Check your camera image. Push record.